Hi, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Melanin Meetings. Today, we're going to be discussing a topic that's quite sensitive. So, we're just going to kind of share each of our opinions on this topic and each of our experiences too. So, as you read by the title, we're talking about body shaming. Now, when you hear me say body shaming, you'll probably think we're just talking about weight, but we're not just talking about weight. We're going to touch off of your whole physical appearance. So, Jen, why don't you take it away? Let us know what your thoughts are on body shaming and if you have any experiences when it comes to that.
Well, for myself, I guess if we're to start like when I was growing up, when I was younger, I suffered with eczema. So for those who don't know, it's like a breakout on your skin. And I had it on my eyelids, on the cracks of my arms, the back of my legs as well. And it was really, really hard because it made me very self-aware. And like my family made such a big deal about it. Not in like, it was such a big thing that it was like I went through so much to try and get rid of it, basically. And it was like, oh, if I carry on, if it persisted, or if we didn't find a cure for it, you can almost say, they were worried that it would end up leaving permanent marks, which wouldn't make me as attractive. And I know they weren't saying it in a bad way, but it's just from a community point of view, there's so much emphasis, there's so much focus on the way a woman looks, her appearance, her weight, and so on and so forth. So from a young age, that was something that I already had to face and to deal with. And then growing up, obviously, as we got older, I thank God that my eczema is no longer an issue. It didn't leave any permanent marks for me. So it's very faint, but you can't actually tell that I had eczema unless I actually tell you the story itself, which is great. And then if we go growing up, now that, you know, I'm married and I've got kids, especially after I have 2 kids. I remember after my first, there was so much emphasis put on me snapping back into my pre-pregnancy shape. And it was like, well, if you don't, then, you know, your husband's not going to find you attractive. It's one of the reasons why men cheat and so on and so forth. And like, I love the fact that my husband will, even if I don't feel that I look pretty, my husband will still tell me that I look pretty. And I look at him and be like, what are you talking about? I look like I just came out of God knows what, you know? But he understands the difficulty it is to snap back. Like you see all these celebrities who it's like, you see their body like a month after giving birth. Like, you don't know what that person went through to get to that form. And I think that's what we forget. We put so much an emphasis on how we look, our weight, and all this kind of stuff. And it's really detrimental to that person, especially if they're not a strong and confident person. They just tend to, you can actually fall into a depression. You can suffer from that mentally, just by the conversations that are going on. So for me, yeah, it was especially after giving birth, the struggles of trying to snap back. I don't know, Crystal, if you had the same thing. They were like, to get your stomach back in shape. Yeah. And I'm telling you, that thing burns. Like,
just to come back on that, you know, that very thing, Mayamoto. That's the one thing. I wasn't even thinking about giving birth. I wasn't even thinking about the pain. I was thinking about the aftermath so much because I heard it so much that and I was just thinking, oh my God, I cannot have a huge stomach. Like, I just want to get this baby out and I can't wait to get the Mayamoto done. And it did hurt, but I feel like it didn't really do much for me anyway.
No, to be honest, for me, like my mom did it to me on both kids. And like, for anyone who doesn't know what this is, that's basically, now I know everyone is pretty different, but I think my mom basically just took it to the extreme. Okay. It's basically like, it's boiling water, and I'm talking boiling water, like kettle boiling water. Okay. And basically what they do is what my mom did, and this is what she told me, this is how they do it, is basically they grab a towel, they dunk it in the water, and then that hot steaming towel, they squish it against your stomach to basically bring it back into shape. Now, I don't know the science behind it and how it actually works, but it burns, okay?
Yeah, I got the same thing. My mother-in-law did mine, actually. And it was not even just a bucket. She filled up the whole tub at my mom's house with boiling hot water, and I had to get into that and sit in it. And then she would put the towel in it, dunk it in, and then she'd press it on my stomach. And what she told me is that it's all, I don't want to get too gory, but she was like, kind of, it's releasing and getting rid of all the rest of the blood that didn't kind of make its way out after birth. And if that blood stays in your stomach, it clots up, and that's what causes you to have a fupa or have a huge stomach. So yeah, that burns. It really burns.
So there was so much of an emphasis after that. And like, even like, I'm now 4 months post-pregnancy, second pregnancy, and I still get the comments of, oh yeah, you need to make sure that, you know, you remain active, get back into your shape, because, you know, you have to do it for your husband. My husband, if anything, my husband actually prefers my post-pregnancy body than he does my pre-pregnancy body, which is great for me.
Exactly.
Very little effort to have to put in. But
absolutely.
The fact that, like, the good thing is, like, my husband already, you know, he's already made it clear what he wants. So whatever the people say outside doesn't really matter. But
that's how it
hurts. It still hurts to hear that, you know, people saying that, yo, you should do this, you should do that, and that pressure as well. It's hard. It really is hard to have to deal with.
No, it is. It really is. Not to leave you out, Olga. What are your thoughts on body shaming? As Jen said, you know, I think the big one for a lot of women is after pregnancy. You know, the weight that does come with pregnancy, it's different for every woman, but, you know, the majority do put on weight. As Jen said, it can be hurtful and it can affect you mentally. I don't know, have you had any experiences when it comes to body shaming? As I said, not just weight, but in general, your physical appearance. Have you had any experiences?
Well, first of all, I just wanted to get back to what Genesis was saying about this pressure put on women. For example, she just said, she gave an example that apparently she was told that she needs to snap back for her husband. Why does it have to be for my husband? Why can it not be for myself? First of all, you don't know what I'm going through. It's my life. So who are you to come and give me that kind of a comment? And people need to be more sensitive towards people. Yes, come and give me constructive criticism or some advice that you feel would help me. And but don't come at me and say and try to criticize me and say, oh, you're fat or you're this, you need to lose weight. And people don't realize sometimes the words that they say plays a lot on people's mental health as well. So again, it's not always what you say, it's how you say it. So I just wanted to touch on what Genesis says. And sometimes I don't want your opinion. I don't want your advice. Keep it to yourself. Like I tell you things. So
Olga don't want it. You don't want
it. I don't want it. You know what I mean? Everybody's an expert these days. Everybody's a nurse. Everybody's a dietitian. Everybody's a personal trainer. Like, get your life sorted. Like, don't worry about me.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh,
so
fired.
No, I just wanted to add to that. Like, we just need to stop that pressure, especially to women as well. Yeah, for me, I suppose I could say, but, you know, you've talked about women and giving birth and stuff like that. But sometimes there are people who, let's say, put on weight because of situation that they're going through in their life and stuff like that. For me, I've never really had, I wouldn't say body shaming, but it was like people pointing out my insecurities, for example. Like, I've always been a kind of a curvy person. You guys all know me. And
we know.
Curves in all the right places.
We know.
And my body started developing at such an early age, and people will be like, would point that out. And for them, it was like they probably thought they were giving me a compliment, but for me, it made me feel insecure. And even to the point of I was very self-conscious of what I wore. I had to make sure that what I was wearing was hiding this, was showing that. And so it made me feel insecure. So just looking at a different aspect of body shaming, then I would say, for example, like I said, some people go through hormonal changes that can cause their metabolism to slow down, and that can make them put on weight. Some people have, again, hormone thyroid issues as well that will make you gain weight, or if they're on certain medication or stress. So you don't really know what somebody is going through. So we just need to be a little more self-conscious and just, a little more sensitive into how we approach people and the comments that we make. I think one example is we all know Chadwick Boseman, may he rest in peace. A lot of people made a lot of negative comments about him online about his weight loss, and then all of a sudden to realize that he was actually battling cancer. So we just have to be really careful with the way that we speak to people, and not to be really judgmental, because we don't know what people are going through in their life. And I think sometimes we feel like if you see that somebody is overweight, immediately we might think that, oh, they're lazy, they don't work out, they just want to sit around and eat and be lazy, that's why they're fat. They need to sort out their life, but you don't know what they're going through. So don't be so quick to judge, you know what I mean? If you really want to help them, then, give them the advice that they need, give them the encouragement that they need. Don't just be quick to say, oh my gosh, you're fat because you're lazy, blah, blah, blah. So I think we just have to be more self-conscious and more sensitive towards people, because you don't know what they're going through.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I totally agree. In my own case, I had the same issue as Jen when it came to, obviously the weight that I put on after giving birth. And it more so came from a lot of women as well, and it's a lot more hurtful, it coming from Ninganumwasi, believe it or not, for me anyway. I had a lot of people tell me like, oh, like I want you, because what I don't really take much pictures, okay? So what I like doing is posting old pictures, and especially on Snap. So I post old pictures, and a lot of girls would write to me on my Snapchat and be like, oh, go back to this weight. Like, I loved you when you were this skinny. And it's like, this, first of all, was probably 4-6 years ago. I've gotten married. I've had a baby, for God's sakes, And if I'm comfortable with the way I look, and that's why I don't like to post new pictures, because I always feel like people are going to comment and be like, we want you skinny. First of all, who are you to tell me you want me skinny? You understand? You didn't push my child out. It really, really, really irritated me. And again, like Jen said, and like you said, oh, for your husband, because that's what leads that's what leads men to go cheat. And I just find that so ridiculous, because in the aspect, if he cheats, it's because he wanted to. It's nothing to do with my weight. You understand? And like, yourself or Jen, my husband quite likes me thick. Okay. I'm not fat. And if I'm comfortable with the way I look, then let me be. I'm not unhealthy. I'm not suffering from anything. If I feel confident and I feel sexy, then I don't see anything wrong with putting on weight. But like Olga said, you never know what someone is going through. It could be medication. It could be mental issues. It could be anything. I, for one, put on weight when I was planning my wedding because it was stressful. Some other people lose weight. I put on weight. I put on weight after I had my child. I lost a lot of weight while I was breastfeeding, but I put on the weight after I stopped breastfeeding. And I was at my biggest after I stopped breastfeeding. And that's when I got the most criticism. A lot of people would write to me on Snap about, oh, look, try this workout. I do this. Look, I'm a mother of 3 and I have no belly. And I'm like, okay, fine, but I'm comfortable with my super. So, okay. It's just so annoying. It's like, who are you to tell me to lose weight? Who are you to tell me you liked me better when I was skinny? I don't get that. It's my body. You understand?
You're not my husband either.
Exactly. And that's the one thing that annoyed, and I still get it till today. I'll post, and it's not that I get it, but I'm now paranoid that when I take a picture, I have to look at it and think, okay, are my neck rolls showing? Do I have a double chin? Is my fupa showing? I just feel so paranoid because I know once it goes up, you're going to have all of these females jumping on like, oh my God, Crystal, you gained weight. Oh my God, are you pregnant? Oh my God, how come you're so big? It seemed like you lost weight in the last picture you posted. Like, it's that no day. It's that no day. Mobile na moko alingangani naza. Naza mungene, naza mkie, nazanga, naza les. Do you know what I mean? And I hate that. I hate that. And another thing I actually struggled with is I've had acne for the longest. Like, I don't even remember what my skin looked like before acne. I've had it for so long. Those that know me, those that have seen me without makeup will know. And I still struggle with acne, but it's not as bad as it used to be. I've tried everything. You know, that's another thing where, okay, I had an incident, not even an incident, but there was one time where I was in a shopping center with my mom in Tala the Square, those of you that know. And I know some girl I know, I saw her. And I didn't have makeup on. So then she was coming towards me and my mom, and obviously we were walking opposite directions. And she saw me and she was like, what's wrong with your face? Wow. I swear.
Rude.
And literally that made my heart sink. My mom had to back me up. My mom was like, bien? My mom was on when, and I was like, Mom, it's okay. Like, it's okay. I was like, Mom, it's fine. I just like, Mom, let's just go. And what it was that she saw, I'll put some pictures in as well, is that I have so much scarring on my face from acne. I think it's called hyperpigmentation, that it's unreal. And I had a lot more than I have now. And when I say I've tried everything, I've tried everything. I tried, natural scrubs. I've tried everything. I've tried taking everything. I've tried scrubbing my face with everything. There was another time where my mom had a friend come over and I answered the door. And as soon as she saw me, she was like, yeah. And I just looked at her like really, and I've been battling with that for so long. But I just thank God, because after I got married, obviously my husband has been a huge support. I was able to go to a dermatologist. Is that what they're called? Dermatologist for skin?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I went to a dermatologist, and I've been getting Dermapen done, and I've changed my lotion and everything. So it's been working out fine. There are times where my skin does backtrack a bit because my skin is very, very sensitive. But it's just the constant ew, oh my God, why is your skin like that? It's like, not all of us are blessed with good skin, okay? Mm-hmm. But I wear my skin proud and loud, and I'm happy with the way I look. So leave me alone. It's just so annoying. So I like Olga said, you just have to kind of be wary of what you say to people, and more so how you say it. Because at the end of the day, what a person looks like is nothing to do with you. If they're happy with the way they look, then so be it.
Yeah, no, I think that's important. And just to add to what you said there, Crystal, in terms of you tried everything. I think there's so much emphasis and there's so much pressure as well out there to do, for example, this apple cider vinegar. And doing all these, drinking all these remedies and concoctions. I have not tried any of them, and I have no intention of trying any of them. And just for anyone out there, if you are trying any of them, if you are using them, then that's absolutely fine. I have personally nothing against them, but for me, I wouldn't. There's one thing I'm learning to do is learning to be confident and learning to be happy in my skin and the way that I am. So long as I'm happy and so long as my husband's happy, then to be honest, that's really all that matters,
Yeah.
Whatever the world out there wants to think, the world is always going to have an opinion. People are always going to have an opinion. And there's nothing you can absolutely do to change that. But it would be really, really wrong of you to change something because the world said or the world dictated. I'm sure you girls have read the story of a celebrity from, I think it's Nikki from Big Brother, who passed away recently. And she was someone who was battling an eating disorder. And that, again, that's another issue that people face, and you won't know publicly, but by looking at them, you're like, oh, why are they so skinny, or why are they so fat, and so on and so forth. But you don't know what they're battling. So just to add to what the girls have said, I think, and it's a quote that came up after Caroline Flack passed away. If there's anything that you can do in this world, it's be kind. Be kind to people out there. You don't know what they're facing. You don't know what they're going through. And to be calling somebody out for their body, be it a sickness that they're going through, an illness they're going through, a deformation, or whatever it is that they have going on, is completely wrong. And I think we just need to learn how to be that bit kinder to one another, especially women. It is sad to see women pulling down each other calling each other out for their insecurities or the way they look and the way that they are. It's really, really sad. And it's really heartbreaking because let's be honest, you don't see that amongst our men,
No, we don't. We
you
don't.
don't
We
see
really
that
don't.
amongst our men. So why do we see it amongst us?
Having said that, actually, we do have. We're just going to show you guys a video from one of our guest speakers, if you will, Tracy. She had a few. Well, we gave her 2 questions to answer, and she answered those questions for us as honestly as possible. So, yeah, take a look.
Okay, question 1. Being 100% honest, what was the reason you decided to start your weight loss journey? Being 100% honest is because I wanted to look really good in my clothes. That's my first major reason for wanting to lose weight. Secondly, to get fitter, because yeah, I couldn't tie my laces at some point. Like, I had to become an acrobat to tie my laces, or I'd have to ask my husband, or going up and down the stairs was a whole thing. So, yeah, that was just the struggle. Thirdly, because I hated what I looked like in pictures and looking in the mirror. It just, I disgusted myself, to be very, very frank. And then lastly, and this is literally my last reason, is because of what other people said about me, about how I looked. It was never positive, never. It was always something. And as much as I hate to admit it, it did really, really get to me, yeah. Question 2. If you were criticized about your weight, how did that affect you mentally and how did you deal with it? I avoided a lot of people just because of that. I grew up being somewhere between a 6 and an 8 most of my life. And then when I moved to Dublin and got married, about a year or two in, this is where I really opened up. So a lot of people haven't really known me the size that I'm at. So whenever they do see me afterwards, it's always a shock for them. And Congolese people, they're quick. Even if I stayed the same, they would still have something to say about my weight. I don't know why this is such a cultural thing, commenting on people's weights, but yeah, that's why I always used to get. I would get comments like, "Oh, you don't look nice anymore," or "Your husband's gonna leave you if you don't lose weight," or "You look like your mom now." Like saying like that's not a good thing. So I always got that. So I really avoided people as much as I possibly could. And then mentally it did affect me because I started believing it. I started believing everything that I was being told. And yeah, how did I deal with it? Honestly, I didn't. Then that's just the honest truth. I really didn't deal with it until I started my weight loss journey. I started to think about, what I think about myself, where it came from, whether it's true or not. And the reality is, I wasn't happy with myself. And unless I did something about it, then I've no right to complain. So that's, I suppose, why I'm on this journey. Because I hate people that complain and don't do stuff about it. So I didn't want to be the kind of person that I hated. Okay, last question. What do you find challenging on your weight loss journey so far? Um, Discipline. I would say motivation, but like I know motivation on you can get you so far, but being disciplined about it, I think that's the most challenging bit. At the start, I suppose, was figuring out what works for me, and yeah, like what works for me, and getting the right information about losing weight. I wouldn't say I'm 100%, informed now, but I think I have a better idea of what works for me and what doesn't. But the hardest thing so far has been being disciplined. So juggling working, juggling my business, juggling being a wife. I'm not a mother yet, so I don't even know what I would have done if I had a kid. But yeah, just juggling the many other things that are going on in my life and trying to fit the weight loss journey into it. Because when I started initially, I didn't have a job, and Tracy wasn't busy at all because everything was closed. So I had lots of time on my hand, and I was like, I better do it now when I have the time. But I think what I did wrong was, not, I suppose, looking into the future and thinking, okay, when I do get the job, how am I going to still make fitness and healthy eating a part of it? Because right now I feel like honestly I'm regressing. So I need to recalibrate in that regard. So discipline has been the hardest challenge. Because everyone, the information's out there. So it's not like you can have the excuse of not knowing. It's just doing that thing that you should be doing rather than choosing convenience, and incorporating things into your daily life that can make it easier for you, such as sleeping earlier so that you can wake up early, to work out, or meal prepping, or what other things did I find useful? Yeah, meal prepping, sleeping early, keeping water around. For me, having like the full 2 liters of water, yeah, it's a bit tough. So splitting it up into, like, I think it was 4 glasses throughout the day. That got me through like the 2 liters of water. But like really looking at little things that you can do like that, or like folding your gym clothes and putting it beside your bed table so that when you wake up in the morning you can get into it straight away rather than looking for stuff. And so just kind of setting up those things for you, like thinking about, okay, what are the obstacles that I face in order to, work out or eat properly or drink the water that I should be, and then actively doing stuff that will make those things easier. Um, I know all of this, but despite knowing, I still find it very hard to do. So, coming back to discipline.
Thank you so much, Tracy, for sharing your story. Really appreciate it. Now we're going to share a video from a personal trainer because we wanted to get two different views, if you will. So now we're going to share a video from one of our personal trainers who's also a close friend. Yeah, check it out.
What can I say to that person that lack confidence? What I can do is inspire, I can motivate and advise, but that's not really helping. But if that's considered as helping, these are the only help that I can give them. I can motivate them, I can inspire them, I can also give them an advice. But at the end of the day, that person is the captain of their sheep and the master of their fate. So they have to decide what type of life they want to live. I might not be okay with being, let's say, 30% body fat. To somebody else, it may be completely fine to them. So whatever advice that I give them is not going to work. So, but I can inspire them, I can motivate them, and I can how can I put it? I can advise them. But in terms of helping, the person has to be willing to decide, first of all, to take that first step and changing the body. Why would I want to advise somebody that does not want to change in the first place? Doesn't make any sense. If the person has become 100% unhappy with how they look and they're taking that first step of making a change, then I might come in and help them out, especially me being a fitness coach, a fitness trainer. Then I might come in and help them, providing that they took that first step. With the second question though, I admire that person's courage, that they don't like how they look and are willing to, take that first step and change how they look until they're happy with how they look. I appreciate that. But then the funny thing about it is the second part of the question, it says due to negative pressure. So for me, it doesn't make any sense. Like, I can't change who I am for the world if the world wants me to be A, but I want to be B. Do you get me? So in saying that, yes, you're changing your body, fantastic. But are you changing your body because you want to change your body, or you're changing your body because the world is telling you to change your body? And that goes back to saying, I am the captain of my ship and the master of my fate again. So you're meant to be conducting your life according to your standards, according to your values, according to your principles. You're not supposed to be conducting your life according to other people's value, perspective, and principles, and so on and so forth. That's not it. So if you change your body because of negative pressure of society, what would happen if you become what the world wants you to be, and then all of a sudden they no longer want you to be that person? Are you going to change again? Do you get me? So I don't believe in that. So if you are happy with how you look, stick to it. You shouldn't have to change who you are for anybody. So that's the way I think I can answer that question. If you're not happy, you changed, but don't change because the world wants you to change, but change because you want to change. And that would be my views on this whole thing. The end.
Thanks again, Derrick, for your views and your honest opinions. So yeah, guys, just to wrap it all up, like we said, if it's not your body, if it's not your look, then it has nothing to do with you. Guys, just be nice. You don't know what someone's going through. Just be nice. And if you have nothing nice to say, then don't say anything at all. If a person posts a picture of themselves, then please believe they're happy with how they look. So it's not down to you to judge. It's not down to you to comment. Just be nice. That's all we ask, okay? Girls, I don't know if you have anything else you want to add, or any last words, any advice?
Yeah, if I can just quickly add to what Crystal said there, and I think maybe this would be a topic for another day. It's the peer pressure in social media as well, where it's like you need to look a certain way. If you're not a size 0, then you're not beautiful, then whatever. So what Crystal said is really important. As long as you are happy with the way that you look and you are healthy, then what everybody says is irrelevant. Remember, you're fearfully and wonderfully made, and whatever everybody else says is irrelevant. So as long as I says you're happy and you're healthy. A quick example there, I think Lizzo was being body shamed for the way she looked, but she says, look, I'm happy with the way I look. For you might think that I'm fat and this, but I am happy. And sometimes people are not fat. People are curvaceous, or they're just thick, and they're happy with the way they look. So just because it's not according to your standard doesn't mean that they're not happy. So let people be happy with the way that they are, and mind your own business. Thank you.
Yeah, pretty much. No, honestly, I think you guys have pretty much covered it all. The only thing I can probably add is I would like to see, as women, that we compliment each other positively more. Tell your girlfriend how fit she looks,
Very quickly, there's one thing they said, sorry, Genesis, is that, I don't know for you ladies, but sorry to cut you there, Genesis, is you feel it a lot more when a fellow lady compliments you than a man. I don't know if you ever
that's true.
Yeah, so as Genesis says, just be nice and support each other. So sorry, Jen, go ahead.
No, but it's exactly it, Tell your girlfriend she looks fit in that dress, Tell that sexy mama that she's a sexy mama,
Exactly.
I think we just need to make that conscious effort to compliment each other more, to say nice things more. Do you know what? I actually challenge every single woman who's watching this video to make a nice compliment to 5 people. right? Make a nice random compliment to 5 people, because trust me, you don't know what they could be going through, and that nice compliment that you make to them could be the one thing that actually puts a smile on
It
them.
might be what they need. Exactly. So yeah, as Genesis said, challenge accepted. I'm gonna start. Genesis, you are fabulous, eczema and everything. Okay, I love it.
Thank you
Okay,
so
you
much.
are absolutely amazing, thighs and all. Okay. So listen, guys, as I said, as we always say, like, subscribe, and comment down below. Let us know, of your experiences. Let us know what your thoughts are. Drop a compliment, if you will, because my ladies are looking absolutely lush today. So yeah, please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. And hopefully you'll join us again for our next Melanin meeting. Bye.